Imagine if we were all free to become who we wanted to and needed to within a relationship. Hi there, welcome. I'm Carol Serby. I'm owner of the Omineca Healing Institute, Northern British Columbia's premier institute for hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, neuro-linguistic programming, energy healing, ceremony workshops, and training. So thank you so much for joining us here today for another episode where we are following your map and revolutionizing the way you understand your body is speaking to you. So today we're talking about change agreements within relationships. And I'm going to define a relationship for you. And it's basically with a loved one, with a friend. I'm not going to define it as a work relationship, okay? But any kind of personal relationship. And it's in these personal relationships that an awful lot of hurt happens. So there's basically three different scenarios that happen within relationships. One is a person in a relationship decides they want to make some changes, decides that they're not totally happy with who they are or what they're doing or whatever the case may be. And they're waiting for express permission from the other person in the relationship. And they won't take the steps necessary to make sure the other person's clear on what those changes are, or even clear that changes are wanting to be made. So they won't hold their power. And because of that, they end up in fear. They end up in frustration, they end up in anger, they end up in rage, and the other person in the relationship is going, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? I don't understand, okay? So that's one part. The next kind of typical change is that one person in the relationship has changed, but they're trying to hide it from the other person. They've already decided to make a change. They've already decided to do something different, but they're not sharing that information. And so they have this duality thing going on. And in one set of circumstances, maybe outside of the relationship, so say it's a husband and wife, so maybe when the person is at work, they're one type of person, and then they come home and they try to revert back to the person that they were originally so that they're not disappointing their partner. Again, not a lot of honesty going on, and the partner ends up going like, wait a minute, there's some incongruencies here that aren't making sense. And then the third type of change that happens is usually the person who's making the change doesn't even realize that they want to make the change until they're faced with a situation and they go, no damn way, I am not taking that or doing that or being that anymore. So they don't even realize that they're going to make the change until they're in a moment where the original way of being is facing them and they're just saying, no freaking way. I'm not doing that anymore. So those are generally the three. There's probably some other ones, but those are the ones that I can think of that are generally kind of the three main scenarios. So there's a couple things that you need to realize if you're the person initiating the change, okay? And if you realize this stuff, it makes making the change much easier, okay? Own your power and own your right to feel the way you feel, be the way you want to be, and to make the change. Be okay with it, because we are human beings and we naturally evolve. And I think it's fair to say that what was right for us at the age of 5 wasn't necessarily right for us at the age of 15. And what was right for us at the age of 15 wasn't necessarily right for us at the age of 30. So we are constantly evolving. We're constantly shifting. We're constantly changing. So we automatically do these little shifts throughout our lifetime, but sometimes the shifts we want to make are not so little, okay? So know that because it's your life, it's because who you are, it's because what you want, you have the right to make that change, and you don't necessarily need permission from anybody else, although there might be some people in your life that will try and convince you that you do, okay? And that's not true. It's not true at all. The next part is that when you're in a relationship with somebody, so be it a friendship or a marital relationship of some sort, family relationship, take responsibility for the one making the change. Okay? So here you are. One day you're this person here. And the next day you decide, oh, I actually want to be this person here. So what you've done within that relationship, within that box or those boxes, whomever that decision affects, what you're actually doing is you're changing the agreement. You're changing the contract. And again, we have all these little changes that happen probably almost daily, or at least weekly. And because they're small, they're easy to accept. Okay, but if you're trying to make a big change, or it's a surprise change, it's like literally biting off more than you can chew. Okay, so you have to know that you're the one that's making the change, and that change is going to make other people uncomfortable. Okay, so it's true, right? And sometimes when we make change, sometimes people get hurt. Okay? And that's just the nature of the beast. And we'll talk a little bit more on people getting hurt in just a minute. But what I want you to realize is if you hurt someone, apologize. You're the one making the change. You're the one putting them in a different environment now. Okay? So don't apologize for wanting to make the change. Apologize for the uncomfortableness of the environment the other person in the relationship is now in. Okay? Okay. When you're making an apology, there's a couple things you need to be aware of. First of all, there's this thing called the emotional refractory period. Now, sometimes these changes occur and result in huge blowout arguments. Huge blowout arguments. Because all of a sudden you're this person, and then you decide you want to be this person, and the person on the outside looking in is going, what the hell is going on? Right? And it creates a big argument. So there's what's called the emotional refractory period. So when you have a big argument, and whether you settle it or decide to just leave it because there is no settling it, what you need to realize is the body is designed to draw like. So if someone is really mad and cranky and angry and hurt, what they're actually going to sort for the next, it's usually about 20 minutes, but let's be careful here. They're going to sort for the next hour for anything you say that they can glom onto that holds them in that anger, that sadness, that resentfulness, whatever emotion or emotions you've created for them. Okay, know that they will, it doesn't matter what you say, they're going to sort for the words that are going to keep re-triggering them within that emotion. Okay? So sometimes it's best for you to say your piece without understanding you're the one that made the change. You're the one that changed the agreement. Say your piece, say what you need to say, and then shut up for a while. Just shut up. Just be quiet. Okay? And in the being quiet, you can you can even choose to say something like, I'm going out for a little while. I'm going to give you some space. Excuse me. I'm not leaving. I'm just leaving for a little while for now to let things calm down. Okay. The other thing, when you apologize, okay, I'm going to dig into some Carolyn Myth's work here, the soul contracts. When you apologize, people don't want an apology like, oh yeah, I screwed up your life. I screwed up. What's it to you? Right? They don't want an apology like that, because that's going to hurt them even more. The kind of apology they want is a soul, heartfelt apology. Realizing the changes that you've decided to make are affecting them. And we can make positive changes, absolutely, but positive changes don't really result in the kind of arguments and stuff that we're talking about here. So we're talking more, what might be considered a negative change. So maybe you've decided to leave the relationship, maybe you've decided to divorce, maybe you've decided, you had an affair or whatever, doesn't matter. Or maybe it's just you're facing behaviors that have bothered you for years and you just exploded in them. Okay? So with the apology, it has to be heartfelt, because you're the one that changed the agreement. They're not agreeing to, they didn't have the choice to agree to the changes in the agreement. Okay? That was your choice. And so coming at it from that point of view, you must say, I realize that I've made these choices and I'm very sorry on how they've affected you. But the truth of the matter is that I couldn't live with things the way they were. I cannot, go on that kind of a tangent. Calm, quiet, loving, soulful, deep. Okay? Those are going to be some of the keys in maintaining peace within that relationship from that point forward. Okay? Because if it's a relationship where husband and wife is split up, there's still kids involved. It's best to have as much peace as possible. And if you're the person that's witnessing these changes, so you're in a relationship, you're a friend, you're a family member, you're a spouse of someone, and all of a sudden you see these changes coming out, I want you to realize right here, right now, they're not about you. We are so programmed to make everything about us. We will twist and contort and circle stories around in whatever way, shape, or form we can to make it about us. It's not about you. Okay? So, your job is to witness the change. And then once the change is complete, you now have a choice within that relationship whether you're okay with the new agreement. After a heartfelt apology has been delivered to you, after you fully and completely understand the changes involved, you now have a choice. And I highly recommend that you make that choice with the minimal of over-emotional engagement. Come at that choice from a point of power. Something to the effect of, I see that you've made these changes and I'm not okay with them. Or I am okay with them. What does our future look like from here? Okay? Excellent. So if you have any questions or you absolutely love this kind of content, please leave a message or share it with your friends. If you're looking for more energy healing techniques, inspiration, and understanding how your body speaks to you, sign up for email updates at ominecahealing.ca. And if you would like an opportunity to work with me through hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, neurolinguistic programming, or energy healing, sign up at our website for a free 30-minute clarity call with me. And I'll ask you some questions and show you where you're stuck and struggling, and if you have blockages or memories stuck in the unconscious. I'll offer anything that I think that I can give to you free over the phone. I'll direct you to many, many, many resources that I have online, both my work and the work of others. And it'll just be a conversation. And if I think we're a match, I'll present you with an offer to work with us here at Omineca. So it's our purpose to support you in your courage, to really explore the clarity and the intuitive listening to the mastery that's already within you, so that you can live full throttle and give others permission to do the same. So thank you so much for joining me here today with the Omineca Healing Institute, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.